Okay, let's call the meeting to order, please.
Mrs. Mock?
Here.
Mr. Markham?
Here.
Mr. Porter?
Here.
Mr. Sherwood?
Here.
Mrs. Smrek?
Here.
Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Porter, if you would, please.
Yes, sir. Vision and mission statement of the Austintown Schools. The Austintown Local School District is a united community with a proud legacy and a progressive approach to education. We provide an inspiring education that strengthens and prepares our students for unlimited future opportunities.
Okay, item number 5. Upon the recommendation of the treasurer, approve the agenda for the November 21st, 2024 Board of Education regular session.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
We have nobody signed up for public comments under item 6 today. Moving on to item 7, Mrs. Vickers will give us the principal report.
So last week, Fitch, AMS, and AIS all held Veterans Day assemblies. So we would like to thank Mr. McLean, Mr. Klein, Mrs. Cowan, Mr. Martin, Mr. Baldwin, our bands, choirs, Falcon Media, and JROTC for all of their work in honoring our veterans. From Fitch specifically here, November 11th, 2 JROTC students, Emmanuel Elenos and Riley Hunn, represented Fitch at the Ohio School Board Association Capitol Conference in Columbus. These students had a booth explaining all that Austintown School District does for their military families. As we approach the halfway point of the year, students in government classes are preparing to take their end of course exams. And finally, concert season will be here, and they asked you keep an eye out for all of their December concerts coming up. AMS. On November 19th, AMS took 400 students to the girls YSU women's basketball game as a PBIS incentive for those students that reached their goals, and Mrs. Cowan's choir sang the national anthem. 6th grade students are getting ready to take the NNAT test, which is the gifted screening test. They're going to be taking that next week. And PTA had their craft show here this last weekend, which, if you were here, it was a huge success. All right, at my building, we had 2 VIP breakfasts in October for our students. They got to start their day with their special guest. Adaptive Sports came in last week and let all of our phys ed classes experience wheelchair basketball. Great learning experience for them. Our PTA is currently holding the book fair this week, and then they're going to be turning our library into Santa's workshop. And then we, of course, have all kinds of holiday stuff coming up, including concerts, room parties, Polar Express Day. And finally, AES, they also held their VIP breakfast this month for each grade level. The parents got to enjoy that and do some shopping at the PTA book fair. 2nd graders are taking their gifted screening test this week. PTA is doing a pants drive for the month of November and December to help the clinic resupply their pants for boys and girls there. And finally, AES students are going to be decorating coffee sleeves for Grizzly Bean Coffee Shop in Austintown. So if you get your coffee there, check out their awesome artwork. So on behalf of all of the principals, I'd like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8, treasurer's consent items. Upon the recommendation of the treasurer, approve the following items A through E by consent action.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 9, superintendent's consent items. upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following items A through I by consent action.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mr. Porter, Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. Item 10, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve BK General Contracting LLC, doing business as PDDM Construction for the softball, baseball, field turf replacement project at a cost not to exceed $91,432.
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Porter.
Item 11, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following resolution to establish Fund 035 as mentioned below.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. Item 12, resolution, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following resolution to establish Fund 024,
So moved.
as mentioned below, sorry.
Second.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. 13, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following resolution to declare transportation impractical for certain identified students is presented pursuant to the requirements of Ohio Revised Code 3327 and the procedures set forth by the Ohio Department of Education as mentioned below.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. Item 14, easement. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the following easement with the East Ohio Gas Company doing business as Enbridge Gas Ohio, as mentioned below.
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. Would like a motion for the next school board meeting to be December the 19th, Thursday, 4 PM work session, 5 PM regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Markham,
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek,
Yes.
Mrs. Mock,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood.
Yes. Any comments, Blaze?
No.
Mr. Kelty?
No.
I know Kathy has some comments. The floor is yours, Kathy.
I do. The Ohio School Board's Capital Conference took place November 10th through the 12th, 2024 in Columbus, and was attended by hundreds of administrators and educators from across the state. Austintown Fitch participated in the Student Achievement Fair and Trade Show on Monday, November 11th. Our district's focus was community service supporting our veterans, and it just so happened that it fell on Veterans Day. 69 out of the 611 school districts in Ohio had display booths representing their districts. Now, we would not have been able to have impressively displayed without a team effort that included Gina Cardillo and Peyton Ellard from Falcon Media, who put together our continuous video loop highlighting our student service to our veterans at home and out of state. Brittany Bueno-Morel, our marketing and PR specialist who put together our storyboard. Bill Klein, vocal music director, and Jeremy McLean, band director, who provided artifacts from their programs for our display. Our junior ROTC students, Emmanuel, better known as Manny, Alanos, junior ROTC, Major U.S. Army Private, and Riley Hune, junior ROTC Corps Vice Commander, accompanied by Tom Marhulik, Senior Master Sergeant, Junior ROTC Instructor. All were dressed in their official uniforms and made an impressive appearance and were great ambassadors. And a special thanks to Jim Pank, AMS Principal, who transported our students and instructor to and from the Student Achievement Fair. It was a good day, for our school district. Because of the efforts of so many, we were able to share statewide all the amazing things that our students and staff are doing specific to service learning in and outside of our community. So I thank you to all of those folks who did indeed help with that. And lastly, I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. It is a time for togetherness and gratitude. Although Thanksgiving comes once a year, we should give thanks every day for all the great things that are happening here at Austintown Local School District.
I do. I have a couple. Thank you. Kathy, thank you for those words about Capitol Conference. A lot of us were in attendance there. We got to visit the booth several times. I know myself, I couldn't believe how much these kids had to talk and how many people they talked to throughout the course of the day. And they were able to hold through to the end. So that takes a lot of gusto. I wish them best with whatever they choose to do in their life. They had a very nice booth, and it was a nice experience to see that. I just want to thank our retirees. I like seeing when people show up with 20 plus years of service and they're retiring. They started with this school and they're retiring with this school. That's great to see. I welcome any new people that happen to be able to come into this job and take those spots. Hopefully I'm still here in 30 years when you retire and I get to see it, but we'll see. So thank you to our retirees. And Thanksgiving, that's my holiday of the year. I've been married for going on 24 years. I've been cooking the entire Thanksgiving for the most part. My wife helps, and the grandma's made some stuff throughout the way. But for the majority, I cook the most of the Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm going to throw out a challenge to say one of our seniors, Mr. Superintendent. I want to see one of them cook an entire Thanksgiving dinner and let me know how they did, if they'll tell you.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.